Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Let's take a breath. Friday nights, you're supposed to say, cool, work's done for the week, rock and roll. I can change it up, go to bed if I want, whatever. Yeah, no. I have Saturday school tomorrow. So I'm doing lesson plans anyway, but it is all good. All right, so check it. I wanted to talk about how our vegan walk can be like the Earth's core. Like each of the stages of getting to the Earth's core. And I was just kind of seeing this while I was talking to kids. And they were like, oh, there's 4 different levels, to get to the core. And the Earth is made up of 4 parts. And I was listening to the parts, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, why is this familiar? Everything relates to being vegan, to changing our ways. So I thought this was really good. All right, so first you start with the crust. And the crust is seemingly very thick, and it says that it's anywhere from 46 miles thick to as little as just shy of 3 miles thick. And I'm sure that's because you could literally start at like the top of Mount Everest, right? And go down. So there's parts of the crust, they're up and down. The thing with the crust, as difficult as it may seem, it's super vulnerable, much like our emotions initially when we're trying to make a change. So the crust is readily affected by wear and tear of wind and rain and snow and, things treading on it. And that's kind of like the emotions when you're first trying to change. Because every time people say something, and it's certainly true for me, I get vulnerable and think, oh, I've barely started anyway. I guess I could go back. I mean, yeah, it's a new value for me, but I'm not totally committed. Seriously, a strong wind knocks me off my game. What? I'm getting better, but still, that's what the crust reminds me of. If you get slammed with a hard storm, you may very well fall off your game. So finally, despite all of that and all the challenges and all the changes in weather, you commit. So then you get to the mantle. And the mantle is like thousands of feet thick, right? And you just start treading through that mantle. And you're really getting some strength and momentum behind you because you literally have to bore through that mantle, all trying to get to the core. The full-blown, committed, lifelong change. No longer a diet, but absolutely going for a lifestyle. So you're going through that mantle, no one can touch you. You are getting in it, you're deeper and deeper, and just when you think you're handled, you are on your path. You are doing amazing. You hit the first part of the core, which is completely liquid. It's called the outer core. So you went from so strong and boring your way to suddenly trying not to drown in the liquid core. And it's like, but wait, how can there be a liquid core? Why am I vulnerable now? I just bored through that mantle. I proved my strength for thousands of miles. Like, how many choices? I can get my urge jar and say, how many good choices did I make? And all of a sudden, I'm in the wishy-washy insanity of a liquid core. That's where people can get lost. You're not going to turn back and start boring your way back up through that mantle. Are you kidding me? You're going to have to sit in the discomfort of that liquid core. Because as you swim your way through, as you gain your air and breath back from drowning, you continue to push through the vulnerability, the I can't believe I fell back again, the what happened to the momentum, like the inevitable tripping your way to success, right? In this case, drowning, which I often reference. And finally, as you continue to find your way, getting air wherever you can, swimming in the right direction, just continuing to trust that that direction that you chose was the right one. You suddenly hit that solid inner core. That core that has its own momentum, that core that cannot be shaken by anyone, that has its own magnetic field that is pulling everything to its truth. You have got your core, but only after floundering in that liquid, only after boring your way through that mantle, only after the ups and downs of a weathered existence where you are easily affected by every wind, every storm, every rain. You're finally in that core that says, this is who I am now. I made it up myself. What do you think? I was thinking that was cool. That was a great analogy. Anyway, it worked for me. All right, my friends, let me know what you think of that. And of course, I'm not even going to forget our amazing Advent challenge. Advent is the 24 days before Christmas, but we're awaiting the birth of our precious Jesus Christ as a tiny little humble baby. And today was day 13. And for day 13, it was recommended that you get a hold of an old friend or a relative. And it didn't mean an old relative, though they could be old, but just someone you haven't spoken with in some time. And if you are on the West Coast, it is only 10:20 at night. You still have an hour and 40 minutes. It is never too late, my friends, to begin to seek health, to participate, to work on your spirituality. It is never too late. So I went ahead and actually called a very precious friend, and unfortunately I did not get a hold of her, but I left a beautiful message. I'm just reflecting on what a gift she's been in my life, and I'm sure that was a great surprise for her. And then God had a surprise waiting for me. I loved it. Not only did my husband totally appreciate that random letter that I sent him the other day, but today I was kicking it through Facebook, and my partner teacher, my new partner teacher, though my original partner teacher is highly functioning and is back in her game, but the new partner teacher totally put a picture of me on Facebook thanking me for essentially mentoring her, and what a tremendous blessing it is. She's suddenly thrilled. I mean, this woman cried the first 4 months of school. It was just a terrible fit. And then she moved to my grade level, and she thanked me not just for being a teacher and giving her lessons, but life lessons. I'm like, are you kidding me? And again, though it came from her, I just see that as God trying to get that message that I made a difference for someone, and I love that. All right, so today was day 13. And it was get a hold of a friend or a relative. And then tomorrow is really cool. It is actually to allow a car to go ahead of you. So you know all those people who are desperately trying to get out of a side parking lot and you're cruising on the main road? You actually have the grace to slow and indicate. Go ahead. Even more importantly is a big rig. When little cars decide they're going to whip in front of a big rig and jeopardize everyone because they cannot brake the way a car can, to actually do your flashers a moment and say, yes, you may go. It was so cute one time. My husband taught me that about doing the flashers to let the rig know. And I did those flashers, and I was having a hard day, and I was somewhat impatient, but I remembered my husband saying, let those big rigs go by. He drove them for years. And so I went ahead and flicked my little light, and I'm like, whatever, they never care. And the guy totally did this whole dance with his back lights, which was totally saying thank you. Oh my gosh, it made my day. So allow someone, a car, if you're out traveling, to go ahead of you. It's an easy one, it's free, and it's lovely. All right, my friends, so how your vegan walk is like the 4 stages of the earth, and allowing someone to go ahead of you tomorrow, a car in particular. All right, my friends, as always, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. And until we talk again, best of all, trust that you're blessed.